Emily Creaser on Epsom Hospital Radio.
And welcome back. So I'm very excited to introduce my guest for this evening, Mr. Dalton Leong. He will be talking to us about his show, Monty Python's Spamalot at Epsom Playhouse. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. So let's talk a little bit about Monty Python's Spamalot and the company that you're a part of. How long have you been with the company now?
Well, I've actually only done one show with Epsom Light Opera Company, and that was back in 2019. I was in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, amazing.
And it was just a brilliant production. The production team were just on it. They were a top quality team, and it was just so much fun. So I came back the following year, 2020, and we were 3 weeks up from opening up at Epsom Playhouse again with Crazy For You. And you know what happened in March 2020?
I think
COVID
we can all remember that,
along.
can't we? Oh, no.
So COVID put a stop to us doing that show. COVID was just a really tough time for all musical theatre societies. But what we tried to do at Epsom Light Opera Company was keep in touch with everyone. And they were brilliant. They ran weekly online quizzes, had social events, just to keep everyone's spirits up whilst they were unable to do shows. So we've had a few years off.
But now you're back.
But Epsom Light, as I'll shortlane to, or ELOC as we call them, they produce 2 shows every year at the Epsom Playhouse, and they've done that since 1986, including performances in open air as well at Polesden Lacey.
Oh, yes,
with
sure.
Guys and Dolls. The other, also we did the Mikado and the Pirates of Penzance, and they've been the most performed shows by ELOC. Both been performed 3 times each.
Wow, okay.
And this was at a time when we did traditional operetta once a year, which sort of balanced with a more modern musical. But I guess one of the highlights for the society was to perform Titanic, the musical.
Oh, wow.
Which was in April 2012, 100 years on from the tragic sinking in 1912. But it's a really costly business, putting on amateur musical theatre shows. Most of these shows cost us around £30,000 to £35,000 to put on, because we hire professionally built sets.
Yes.
We pay for professional orchestra, and pay a lot of attention to things like costumes, lighting, and sound. I'll tell you a little bit more if you wish later on about my costume, for example. But
please.
There is such a great team of people, production team behind the scenes too, from costume design to amazing backstage crew. And they, of course, the backstage crew, they enjoy show week particularly behind the scenes as much as we performers do on stage.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a variety of shows. I love that. But obviously we are here to talk about Spamalot. Did you know anything about sort of Monty Python? Did you, as the cast, all sit together and watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail? How did you sort of learn a bit more about what the show was going to be about?
Well, let's start by being truthful, Emily. I'm old, so I know Monty Python.
You said that before, but it's not. Not true.
So I know Monty Python from when they were first around, and obviously have seen the film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But what I love about our production at Epsom Playhouse, our director Chris Malone, I've done quite a few shows with Chris Malone, and for me he's one of the best directors out there. And he's used his own artistic interpretation of the story, so he won't watch videos of previous productions of Spamalot. You might get some tips and ideas, as all of us actors have as well, by watching YouTube for inspiration and so on. But even all of the actors are trying to put their own characterization into their parts, and that's been really lovely to watch during the rehearsal period. And many of the ensemble, of which I'm part, play different parts during the production. So there's something for everyone to do, and it really is a great show. We've got a cast of, I think it's 34 people. Wow, okay. So it's a big cast, and everyone's involved throughout. It's a really lovely show for everybody to
I'm really excited to come and see it. So I think we talked about this a little bit off air, but rehearsal process. So, when do you start rehearsing for a show? How many times do you meet up a week with the company? That sort of thing.
Yeah, well, for starters, everybody that is in the production has had to audition.
Okay.
And this show was particularly popular. I'd imagine the production team may have been able to cast it twice over.
Wow.
So it really feels good when you're in the cast that you've kind of made it through that audition. And I, for one, get really nervous during auditions, I hasten to add. And clearly some will be disappointed that they're not cast and they either choose to continue to do it by being in the ensemble or choose to go off and do another show, because there's a number of societies around as well doing their productions. But we started rehearsing back in June, so it's roughly a 4-month rehearsal period up until opening night on the 17th of October. And we rehearsed twice during the week, Monday and Wednesday evening. And then the last 4 Sundays before the show, we also rehearse on Sundays, which is running the full show. So we can just really hone it to perfection, or as well as we can get it before opening night.
And you get to go into the Playhouse to do a run through.
We do.
As well. Yeah.
So the Sunday before the show, so we open on Tuesday the 17th of October. On Sunday the 15th, we spend most of Sunday in there doing what they call a technical rehearsal and a band call. So it's the first time we'll sing and sing with a live band. And then on Monday evening we do a dress rehearsal, full dress rehearsal, and then Tuesday we open. So we'll have had two shots of it, if you like, before we open in the theatre, which is really important, because it's very difficult to replicate the scale of a theatre when you're in a church hall, for example, rehearsing, including not just the width but the height of the place and so on. And for some, many have performed many times, but for some it might be their first show, so that first moment on the stage could be nerve-wracking.
Stepping out onto the stage,
exactly, that moment with lights in your eyes.
I was going to say,
so it can be quite nerve-wracking. So that technical run on the Sunday is really important.
Amazing. So I don't want to spoil the show for anyone who's going to see it, but could you give us a little bit of a summary of what we can expect from the musical?
Yeah, so Spamalot. This show's inspired by the classic comedy film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And I've, little spoiler here, but we've actually stolen a song also from The Life of Brian, a very well-known song.
Oh, exciting.
I could whistle it if you want, but I think you might know which one it is if I start whistling.
Amazing.
And this plot for Spamalot, I like the way that rhymed, by the way.
Yeah, nice.
Follows the tale of King Arthur, together with his servant Patsy, and their quest to find the Holy Grail. And during the show, Arthur and Patsy, they recruit knights to King Arthur's very, very round table, and they meet a host of fascinating characters on the way, including the Lady of the Lake, Prince Herbert, Tim the Enchanter, who's brilliant, the Black Knight, and the knights who say "Nee." You were going to do it before me.
I was just really excited. I was hoping you were going to do it, and you didn't disappoint. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got to do it properly if I'm going to say "Nee" at all. But the show, as you can tell from me now, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It was originally launched in 2005, and it ran for 4 years in the West End. It was on Broadway as well, and did a total of 1,575 performances.
Wow.
So we are doing 6 performances. By popular demand, we can come back and do a further 1,500
500
something.
69.
It's going to be really good to recreate it. And we know, ticket sales are going well, but there's obviously plenty more still to, with a few weeks to go before the show. So
2 weeks,
get
isn't
buying
it?
your tickets, people, is what they're saying.
Yes, I was going to say at the end we'll say, but you can go onto the Epsom Playhouse website. I did it the other day. Very easy. Book your seats. Do it now. And it's really affordable because it's local theatre, so we can afford the tickets, and you don't have to travel all the way into London to see a great show. It's right here on our doorsteps. We're very, very lucky. We're very lucky being here in Epsom. But as you did earlier, the Nee, you're playing the role of the leader of the Knights of Nee. So could you just tell us a little bit more about how they feature in the musical?
Yeah, so the Knights of Ni, they
Amazing.
meet King Arthur and his servant Patsy in this darkened forest, and they demonstrate their power by shouting Ni, and this terrifies King Arthur, and they refuse to let him pass unless he brings them a sacrifice, which is a shrubbery. And I won't share any more around that scene because we want people to come and watch it,
Come and enjoy.
play out, as it were. So it's just a small part within the show, but it's good fun to do. The biggest challenge, of course, is I have to wear stilts.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
I didn't know, because obviously in the film version, he's
correct.
massive.
Yeah.
So I did wonder.
So in the film, I think he's meant to be twice the size of King Arthur. It's played by Michael Palin in the film. And so when Chris Malone, the director, said, by the way, are you okay on stilts? I said, well, I've never tried them before. So it's going to be a little daunting, but it's necessary because the character is meant to be this tall, imposing giant of a knight, as it were. And
That's
it'll be fine.
amazing.
What can possibly go wrong?
Well, exactly. Wow. I was going to say, how was that? So did you actually learn to use stilts, or are they supporting you a little bit behind the scenes?
Well, bear in mind that right now I'm in Epsom Hospital talking to you. I'm hoping not to
The
end...
hospital's right around the corner as well. So
I'm hoping not to end up back here.
Yeah.
But I used them for the first time just last Sunday. So I've got another 2 weeks to perfect it. So I probably need to quicken up the steps a little. But thankfully, the one saving grace is that the Knight of Ni holds this long staff.
Oh, wonderful.
And that hopefully will provide a bit of support as
that
well.
will keep you
If all fails, I fall over on my fellow Knights of Ni.
Yeah, perfect. They'll be
I'm
there
sure
to
they won't
catch
mind.
you. Okay. So yes, do you have a favourite musical number from Spamalot? And why is it your favourite?
I think there's a couple actually.
Oh, amazing.
One is called The Song That Goes Like This, which is just brilliantly named, and the lyrics are lovely, the melodies are fantastic. The acting by the two of the leading characters is just sublime. I laugh every time I see them in rehearsals. They're both just brilliant singers, and that's Sir Galahad and the Lady of the Lake.
Yes.
Watch out for them. And so I absolutely adore that song every time I hear it. And the other one is his name is Lancelot, and Sir Lancelot is one of the other knights, and it's a funny camp song in all the best ways, and I get to try and dance in that.
Oh, I can't wait.
I say try and dance because I'm not a trained dancer, as are a lot of the cast. We're not trained dancers, but we try and do our best on stage.
Yes.
And our choreographer, Amy Clark, has done a superb job. She really has, because we've got a lot of the ladies in the show. They are trained in some way, mainly, and they're just very good, and they just pick it up first time.
And it's the gentleman.
And Amy's very good at being patient with us men, where we take ages to learn it. But I've sort of always been fine. Once I'm comfortable with the steps, then I can start giving it the sort of sharp arms.
Get
or
the
whatever it
footwork
might be.
first, and then add your flair.
But then the double challenge, and it's really important because our musical director will tell us off otherwise, and we don't want to be told off by Dennis. So Dennis rightly wants us to sing at the same time as dancing.
Oh, absolutely.
And the lovely thing about this show is the harmonies are really, the music is very melodic. There's some really good numbers, there's numbers that remind you of other songs, all that sort of stuff. So it's just lovely. So we've got to do this double act of singing and dancing all at the same time, no pressure.
Oh no, I talk about triple threats all the time. And it sounds like this show, you need to be just that. So no, I'm very excited to see this. So as I said, as you have said, the show opens in 2 weeks on the 17th of October. Do you still get nervous for opening nights?
Yes, but in a good way. So I've actually done amateur musical theatre since 2003, so 20 years, with various societies. So you'd think actually I wouldn't ever get nervous because I've done so many shows.
Yeah.
But actually,
Old pro.
I haven't done many shows in recent years because of a busy day job. So 2019, I mentioned Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
And then my last show before that was 2016 when I did Grease at Epsom Playhouse, and that was with another local society, Epsom Playhouse.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant fun. But yes, I still get nervous, but I think it's a good thing to be nervous and not complacent. So you want to give the best of yourself, and you also want to give your best to the production team who've worked their socks off to put on a quality show. So you feel like you don't want to let them down, and you don't want to let yourself down. So yes, I do get nervous.
Yeah. Is it a case of once that spotlight hits you, you just perform?
Yes, yeah. The pressure to perform is enough to make sure you do perform.
Yeah.
So I think
And
you're
excitement,
coming
I
to see
hope.
the show and you probably go, you don't look nervous, Dalton.
Yeah.
You look fine. But inside there is
yeah.
got to get this right. So there will be nerves, definitely.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing. Everyone, all cast members will come off, after their number and go, oh, I made that tiny little mistake then, which to them is a tiny mistake, but it feels, and it might not have any impact on the show.
I was going to say,
because you
I bet
might
the
get back
audience
to the
don't
set.
even know, because
Exactly.
we were just blown
So
away.
you sort of got to make sure you keep smiling throughout it. And as our director said at rehearsals on Sunday, we were trying to do a full run, and a couple of people forgot their lines. Probably I was one of them, maybe. And he said, "Don't say sorry." So because just act it through. If you make a
just
mistake,
keep going.
just keep going. And he's absolutely right.
The show must go on.
Yeah. So if you hear the word sorry when you see it live, then something's gone wrong.
Something's gone wrong.
Yeah, unless it's in the script, of course.
Yeah, of course. See, and then we would never know. We'll never know.
Exactly.
Okay, so if anyone was still doubting whether they should go and buy tickets for this wonderful show, is there anything you would say to convince them? And who's the show for as well?
Well, this is a seriously funny and silly show, and it's suitable for everyone.
Amazing.
Yes, there might be references to flatulence in some way, but it's fun. It's not offensive, in my opinion. And the plot is easy to follow. The musical numbers, as I said earlier, they're just brilliantly catchy, very melodic. The harmonies are stunning. There's some fantastic characters who the audience will certainly enjoy. And there's also some great dancing, thanks to Amy, our choreographer, from the whole company. So it's nice to go and watch a show and not have to overthink what you're watching.
Yes.
Just sit back, enjoy, and have a seriously good laugh.
I love it. That was great. If that hasn't sold you, I don't know what will, because now I'm thinking I should go I should go another night as well. So just to end off, I'll just do some quick fire questions with you. And then I actually have a couple of numbers from the musical to play. I think you may have already named one. So I know, we were just in sync. I don't know how we did that, but one of your favourite numbers might be coming up. So, quick fire. What was the last musical that you went to see?
Well, am I allowed two?
Yes, that's fine.
One was Oklahoma, which was the modern version, which is really cleverly done. Quite an immersive experience. The lights are on in the audience as bright as they are on stage. It's quite odd, really. And then at one point, all the lights go off, pitch black, and they're still performing. It's a really excellent production of Oklahoma. And just last week, I was at the Adrian Mann Theatre in Lescott College, watching Epsom Players' Spring Awakening. And it was such a brilliant production. I have to
just
say.
picked up a leaflet for that today. I love Spring Awakening.
You've missed it then.
No, has it gone?
Finished on Saturday. And you missed a good one. It was
I'm truly
gutted. Excellent production.
Yes.
It's funny because I've done a lot of shows with Epsom Players, but I think I knew the director and two people in the cast. The whole has changed. It's a much younger cast these days, but superb production, and a bit like Epsom Light Opera Company, Epsom Players. They both put on excellent shows, often at Epsom Playhouse as well.
Gutted. I'll have to be more on top of it next time. I'll make sure I get my leaflets early. Okay, next question. What is your favourite thing about performing?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I love the challenge. I love actually putting myself outside of my comfort zone. And, I'm comfortable with my day job. But this, trying to learn to dance and sing and just
And at the same time.
Exactly, especially at the same time. But that buzz of live theatre and just being able to entertain others, there's no feeling like it actually. Yeah. You know, if you perform and the audience love it, and they show that they love it. For example, a standing ovation would be nice, people.
Yeah, hint, hint.
Then we love it. The cast love it because we've worked so hard for 4 months, and there's a great camaraderie in the cast as well, and the production team. You know, we make it fun during rehearsals, have cake sales and what have you. So that whole social side of things is really important. It definitely keeps you fit.
Yeah,
you're rehearsing 3 times a week, dancing. That's another thing. So yeah, it's just brilliant. It's a really nice hobby to have, and I've like to think I won't give it up anytime soon.
No, I hope not. What is your dream musical theatre role?
If I had the voice, the singing voice especially, it would be Galileo in We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
So I've been in a production of We Will Rock You at Epsom Playhouse, actually, 2007 with Epsom Players, and it was brilliant. I played Jackson 5, one of the Bohemians, and it was brilliant. We sold out every night.
Yeah.
But Galileo, that character, I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to play that if I could.
Controversial. What musical do you think is overrated?
Yeah, I don't like to demean any other shows genuinely because I don't want to feel like I'm being negative about someone who's tried to put on a production. But I have to say I didn't enjoy recently Aspects of Love with Michael Ball. It used to be on at the West End. It came back for a short run, and he was great. But yeah, I just couldn't get into the story, the songs. I didn't particularly enjoy. So yeah, I score everything I go and see out of 10, and I think I gave that a 3.
Oh dear.
And at the other end of the scale, you've got shows like Come From Away, which was a 10 out of 10.
I mean, yeah.
And Moulin Rouge, 10 out of 10. Les Miserables.
Yeah.
So that's the other end of the scale.
It's difficult when you've got such incredible productions.
Oh, and Spamalot's 10 out of 10.
Oh, of course,
obviously.
of course. We didn't have to say that. Obviously, 10 out of 10. Okay, and yes, one last question. If someone made your life into a musical, who would you want to play you?
Probably Ewan McGregor.
Love that.
Because he's a cheeky chappy, isn't he? He's a cheeky chappy, and I just think his singing in the film Moulin Rouge was just wow.
Who knew?
Exactly.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew he could sing like that? So yeah, a bit of an odd choice. I was thinking about either that could be Mike Myers or something. Slight difference, isn't there, between the two?
No, stick with Ewan McGregor. I think that's a great shout.
I'll stick with Ewan McGregor.
Amazing. So thank you so much. I was going to say the news is coming on in a few moments, but I'll try and get some Spamalot music in before. But thank you so much, Dalton, for coming in and sharing all this information about Monty Python's Spamalot. So please just remind us when and where is the show on so we can get our tickets.
Fantastic. So it opens 2 weeks today, 17th of October, at Epsom Playhouse. Runs through to Saturday the 21st of October. Their evening performances at 7:30, and on Saturday we have a matinee also at 2:30. So get your tickets now, and we would love to see you there. You can get them either via the Epsom Playhouse website or the Epsom Light Opera Company website.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily.